Hello there and welcome to Daring Abroad once again, a TV series that takes you around the world without a visa. This is our second episode from Expo 2020 Dubai, and this is what is coming up. More on Kenya at Expo 2020 Dubai.
I'm here at the Dubai Expo to see what the future looks like.
This is the first time in the Expo experience that Kenya is having investment forums.
As the East African region seeks to hunt in a park.
Mtu anayekuja kutalii Kenya anakuja kutalii Tanzania.
As a country, we are looking at growing our economy.
Ethiopia and Kenya has a big relationship.
Africa needs to trade more with itself.
Kenya and East African region at Expo 2020 Dubai. Expo 2020 Dubai is a big meeting place with 192 countries participating. The Expo began on 1st October 2021 and will go on until end of March 2022. By the end of the first week of November, over 36,000 people had visited Kenya's pavilion.
As a country, we also plan to attend the event for the entire period of the Expo, that is 6 months. And besides just having the pavilion, there are other sideline events that we have organized and we have planned as a country. There are several themes that the Expo has come up with, but on top of these themes, we've been able to isolate events that we feel resonates well with our aspirations as a country. So what we have done is that we have planned several business forums.
Kenya's Cabinet Secretary for Health, Mutahi Kagwe, his transport and infrastructure counterpart, James Macharia, and the Principal Secretary for Housing and Urban Development, Charles Hinga, are among Kenyan leaders who have been at the Expo this week.
Where we'll have Kenyan business delegations coming to attend these forums, and we'll be matching them so that they have B2B meetings and engagements with their counterparts from not only just the UAE and the GCC, but all the other friendly countries that we've been speaking to, whose also delegations will be around that time, so that we can organize for these forums for them to, of course, have discussions and possibly even seal deals for business.
Two key forums have already taken place, one on infrastructure and another on housing. The business forums are coordinated by Kenya Investment Authority.
In December, we have innovation and education. In January, we have manufacturing and tourism. February, we have universal health care and food security. And in March, we have blue economy. Each month has a theme. And the way we've organized them is that we'll look at specific investors in those specific subsectors. And what we've done is that we've brought together both government and private sector players into our forums. For government is to expound on our facilitative and regulatory framework. For private sector is to support the effort we are doing and to also encourage other investors to invest in Kenya.
We have opportunities that exist in our country, and therefore we are inviting investors. Everything that we are showcasing here, we are telling investors, please come to our country. The lead agency is the Kenya Export Promotion and Branding Agency. We call it KEPROBA. Of course, then they will be following up on the visitors, especially those that express interest in investing in Kenya, those that express interest in importing our merchandise. And we are targeting the entire world, but again, this happening in the Middle East. We have the GCC countries around here that we've been doing a lot with, and therefore we anticipate that we'll be clinching a lot of deals with many countries and entities.
The Expo, Kenya's participation, and the ongoing forums mean a lot to Kenya, with human resource being one of Kenya's key exports. Again, Kenyans living and working abroad mean a lot to Kenya's brand.
Of course, our diaspora is our, we can call it reserve assets. They are a major contributor to our economy, not only in terms of monetary contribution or remittances, but also through the intellectual participation in the discourse in our country. So I think that our diaspora are a major asset for our country that need to be inculcated.
This Expo, interestingly, has provided an opportunity for us to interact with so many Kenyans. There are so many of them who are working in this Expo, employed by the Expo. There are those who are working with the companies that are providing services to the Expo. And also there are those who are not necessarily working in the Expo, but they have been coming to visit the pavilion. And there's that nostalgic feeling whenever they come to the Kenya Pavilion. They feel they're at home. Some of them have not been home for quite a while. So when they come to the pavilion, they feel really at home and appreciate, of course, what we are showcasing. Of course, some of them would like to interact with us. They're asking some products which might not be in the pavilion at the moment, but hopefully in the next 2 or so weeks, we'll be selling tea, coffee, and those products.
I'm keen to visit this pavilion to get to network with the number of players that are bringing stuff to UAE, and also to network with the Kenyan community who are passing by to see what products and activities that we can promote.
There are Kenyan experts who are making a big contribution to knowledge exchange here. Among them, Tilda Mwai, a senior analyst at Knight Frank, a global real estate company that focuses on providing professional services around real estate all over the world.
We have seen Dubai really implementing things like making information available and data being available for people to make a conscious decision in terms of investing in real estate. It's been a market that has also grown over a period of time, but arguably a very short period of time. So there's scope even for our country, Kenya, to look at the real estate market here and just understand how comes the market here has grown to that level, what they have done to attract investors. But even more importantly, it is to understand the needs of the people and what is there, and how the different real estate sectors can support those needs. And we're already seeing it happening in Kenya, really.
We are working with Knight Frank specifically to tap into the experience in the housing sector. They've been in Kenya for the last 20 years. They have a headquarters here in Dubai. The Africa headquarters in Dubai, and what we are working with them is to attract investments in that sector, also to gather statistics on the housing sector in Kenya and the opportunities available comparatively to other African countries.
Here in the Expo, there's a mixed grill. You'll meet all Kenyans who are in diverse sectors, who are working in different sectors of the economy. There are doctors, engineers, we've met even teachers. We have even chefs who are working in the restaurants here, in top restaurants in this country. So Kenyans are doing so well in this region, and we are very proud to associate ourselves with them.
Remember, in our last episode, we brought you the story of Cyprian Machango, a Kenyan chef who is supervising 85 African chefs working for 9 restaurants that have come together to sell African food under one roof. And feedback on that story is just amazing. Fatima Ali Muhammad, a Kenyan businesswoman in Ghana who we featured on this show some time back, says on Instagram, "Wow, this is a mighty position Cyprian holds. It's no mean feat. Well done, Cyprian." Prince Kadara says on Facebook, "Lovely episode. Watched it twice. Very inspiring." Also on Facebook, Senior Kanywa says, "These are true Kenyan heroes that are worth celebrating." James Wanzala on Twitter says, "Kudos Chef Cyprian Machango for shining abroad in Dubai." And Evelyn Etiang on our YouTube channel says, "Very informative. Good job, Chams Media. Chef Cyprian is a great role model for fellow Kenyans." With those comments on Chef Cyprian Machango's story, we now take a short break. When we return, find out why countries in the Eastern African region are hunting in a park here at the Expo.
As a country, we are looking at growing our economy.
Mtu anayekuja kutalii Kenya, anakuja kutalii Tanzania.
Africa needs to trade more with itself.
Also ahead, Ngeche Mara Camp and what you can see while on holiday there as Kenya promotes its tourist attractions at the Expo 2020 Dubai. Don't go away. At the Dubai Expo, countries in the East African region are talking to each other. They want investors to see the market through one lens. Uganda is Kenya's biggest trading partner.
We are promoting regional integration. The president has been very keen on regional integration, so when we are here, all the opportunities we talk about are not only of benefit to Uganda, but they're also of the benefit to the region. For example, one of the things you'll see in this pavilion is we're trying to promote the idea of being land-linked. So Uganda is at the center of 4 strategic markets: EAC, COMESA, and now the African Free Continental Trade Area. But our connectivity to those markets depends a lot on our neighbors, because I think you're very familiar that our connectivity to international markets is through Kenya. So everything we do here is not only of benefit to us as Uganda, but also to the growth of the region.
Kenya and Ethiopia have one thing in common: coffee. And at the pavilions of both countries, this stands out.
Ethiopia and Kenya has a big relationship, historical relationship. It's beyond neighborhood. You know, we're brothers and sisters. So in terms of tourism, when someone, you know, the visitor or the tourist comes to Ethiopia or Kenya, they can visit at the same time. We don't need visa to go to Kenya and Ethiopia. And we are very happy that we had a visit by Kenyan ambassador last week to Ethiopian Pavilion. So we had an opportunity to discuss with them. In terms of trade, you know, we are producing, you know, different products and similar products that we can attract buyers at the same time to buy our products. So in this case, we do have good bilateral trade relationship. Even we have bilateral trade agreement, which is special status trade agreement. So in that case, we can work together and we are collaborating as a neighbor, as 2 countries.
Participating countries are also using the Expo platform to discuss diplomatic issues.
Lengo la kuja kwenye Expo kama nchi, mojawapo ni kuimarisha zaidi uhusiano wa kidiplomasia. Sisi na Kenya ni ndugu, sisi na Kenya ni majirani. Kwa hiyo uhusiano wetu ukiona unaweza kukuta vitu vilivyoko kwenye banda la Tanzania na Kenya. Kwa hiyo mtu anayekuja kutalii Kenya, anakuja kutalii Tanzania. Kumalizia, yani akianza kule anasema ngoja nimalizie opportunities za huko. Lakini kilimo pia utaona tunalima horticulture. Lakini pia kuna miradi ambayo tunajenga ya mabarabara. Yote yanatuconnect Kenya na Tanzania ili hata wanapokuja investors, wanapokuja watalii, wanaconnect nchi zote mbili, tuna benefit.
All this amid emphasis on African countries to increase trade among themselves. African Union High Representative for Infrastructure Development, Raila Odinga, who toured various pavilions, says for intra-Africa trade to become a reality, African countries should give priority to improvement of mobility.
Africa needs to trade more with itself. At the moment, intra-African trade stands at just about 15%. We want to upscale it, to go toward 30%, moving toward 50% gradually. One of the inhibiting factors has been poor infrastructure across the continent. And we're really trying to see that the infrastructure in the continent is improved so that we can increase trade among African countries.
And there are many investors here at the Expo who see a big opportunity in a collective African market. Multinational electronics manufacturer Canon, which is known for Canon cameras, is keen to increase its market share on the continent.
Certainly, Canon, our annual turnover, out of our annual turnover, 9% of our annual turnover is spent on research and development. So there are a lot of, new products, new innovations, which Canon comes out with. Recently, we came out with our mirrorless cameras, the R series, which changes the whole concept of, taking photography. Something, which is a groundbreaking moment, something which is a game-changing moment, in photography. We have launched this in Kenya and other important markets in Africa, and so far we have been receiving very good response. And this encourages us that our new innovations, which will come out in form of new products in 2022, will also be launched and very well accepted in African countries.
Very well, and as Kenya promotes its tourist attractions at the Expo 2020 Dubai, we now take you to Ngeche Mara Camp and what you can see while on holiday there. Take a look. Masai Mara National Reserve is managed by Narok County. It is found in an area of preserved savanna wilderness in southwestern Kenya along the Tanzania border. Its animals include lions, cheetahs, elephants, zebras, hippos, and wildebeests. The reserve is crossed by the Mara and Talek rivers, and it is dotted with resorts, lodges, and safari camps, among them Marangecha Safari Camp.
Marangecha itself is located at the confluence of the Talek and Mara rivers, and we are where the major migratory points are not too far from the camp. So it's easy, especially during the wildebeest migration, to see the herds migrating into the Mara, to see them crossing the various rivers in the Mara, right when you are residing from there. You don't have to drive far from the camp to get these exciting phenomena just before you. The location is very strategic for a nice game drive experience. The camp has 12 strategically located tents. We have 6 of them along the Mara River and another 6 along Talek River. In the river, we do have active wildlife like hippos, crocodiles. Occasionally, you would see a giraffe crossing the river. You would also occasionally see an elephant crossing the river. So these tents are strategically located such that you can still experience nature right from outside your tent. This point here normally is for our guests to see the hippos, and also in case we have the migrating herds of wildebeests. So you can walk all the way. Here is safe enough.
Marangecha Safari Camp organizes safaris for guests who want to explore the wild.
We have opened safari vehicles which are driven by our local guides, Maasai local guides. So these are guys who understand the place. They've grown here and they know what Mara means, what Mara holds, and also they know even how to behave in front of wildlife.
Francis Simon was our tour guide during our holiday here, and from our safaris, the big cat that gave us unmatched spectacular experience was the lion. It is estimated that there are close to 850 to 900 lions in the Masai Mara National Reserve and surrounding conservations. We learned that lions are the most sociable members of the larger cat family. They live in prides of 15 to 20 members with up to 3 males, several adult females, and a number of sub-adults and cubs. Typically, males may hold territory of between 20 to 400 square kilometers.
Every single day is a new day to the given wildlife, since you get to find the given animals active in different times of the day. Maybe for instance, you go to the game drive in the morning, you may find the lions either playing about or maybe walking about or even hunting or maybe even eating their kill. And then finding them later on in the middle of the day, you find them sleeping. Lions are generally the big 3 cats of the Masai Mara, the lion, cheetah and the leopard. They've got almost similar lifespan. and their main lifespan goes up to about 12 years. Female lions can live up to 15 years.
Here we learned a lot too about what happens after a kill.
What happened, the place where we just saw the two females that are guarding the kills, they are still part of this group. So after they are well fed in the morning hours, now they had to avoid the heat of the day, and that is why they switched coming out all the way down to this gardenia plant, taking advantage of the cool shade. Now we've got this male lion here. We've got the females next to, and the two are guarding the kill. So for him, because of females' availability, what he does, he will not go for the kill. Those are manageable kills, like the wildebeest, like the zebras. He will let the females kill, and after bringing the kill down, now he will come and take over the table, eating fast, not tolerating female.
So females away fast.
Females away fast. Now
they'll be waiting until
they have to wait until the male is full. Now in the given meantime, the male will tolerate his little ones. They can eat in the same table. Now when it's well fed, is when he'll abandon, taking the king side bed, like resting under the given bush. And now that is from then, the females will be coming now down to have their food. No, I don't think so. It's just a way. Yeah, it's a good cycle of life.
So when someone tells you that you've taken the lion's share, you know what that means. Francis also explained to us why male lions have manes.
With a given mane around the male's neck, they are just not there meant for like kind of beauty. No, they are serving two special purposes. One of the very special purpose is when they grow long and dark in color, they make that given male lion intimidating to the opponent. They look much bigger than they are. And then the second thing, when they fight among themselves, especially when they're fighting over a territory, you get to find they've got some very sensitive parts of their bodies that when attacked by the opponent, they can easily die. So that is now what made about the growth of the long mane around the neck, that when the opponent tried to bite on the neck, the given long mane will act as shock absorbers.
And that's all for today from Mara on our Back Home segment. From Kenya to the world, and the world to Kenya. That is what Daring Abroad is all about. And remember, Expo 2020 Dubai continues until the end of March 2022. It's normally a 6-month event. And we have lots of content coming your way in the near future. Special thanks to Kenya Export Promotion and Branding Agency. Always a pleasure having your company. Until we meet again next time, I'm Alex Chamada. Bye-bye.